Welcome to Geordie Lass Doc Sass. One day, a Geordie and a Canadian walk into a bar and decide to start a podcast about relationships, and what a topic that is. No subjects are off limits. Get in touch today with us at geordielass.com or email info@geordielass.com and let us know what you think and what we should talk about. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Creeping on into summer here, I do believe. We're crossing the equinox. Mm-hmm.
I think I'm struggling with my mind a little lately, where I just keep kind of forgetting things. I literally was halfway through that welcome to the podcast and I'm thinking, what am I doing again?
Where am I?
What are those words again?
Do you know what's so funny? I did see coverage of, there is, in some region or part of Japan, there is a restaurant that is run by seniors, I'll say seniors, who are in various moderate stages of dementia. And the whole point of the cafe is not to get the right order, but to enjoy whatever comes to your table. And it's really sweet because these, elders, especially here in North America, right? You're relegated to long-term care homes, sterile medical environments where you have terrible outcomes. You don't have a sense of purpose. And these elders are doing a job that ordinarily requires a great deal of good memory. And they do not have the good memory. But every diner comes there with a little bit of flexibility to sort of, take the time it takes and eat whatever comes to the table. So it's very sweet.
It's lovely. I love that idea. You could end up with some nasty surprises or some really terrible combination.
I know, absolutely. I don't think that there's any rigidity with which wine or sake is being paired with what fish, because it's a grab bag. It's pretty much a roll the dice or like a Russian roulette of the menu. But the good thing is,
I love that.
Yeah, right? We will always have a job then. If not podcasting in our advanced dementia, we'll move to Japan. Take up a restaurant job.
Absolutely. I like a bit of cooking, so, put those skills to work.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, we were talking about care homes this week. I can't remember why or what the context was. But one of the things that sticks in my mind about the conversation was, don't they always have a weird smell? Like they've all got the same sort of weird care home smell about them. I don't know how that's possible.
It's funny because it crosses, international borders as well. I'll say it's a little bit different in India. There's a different antiseptic that they use on the floors. So there's a little bit different, but yeah. But weird smell. Not very pleasant anyway. It is not. And in the blue zones of the world, elders have a much different role in society. They're very much integrated. They're with the grandchildren. They're still like getting up and chopping wood. Just saying. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. No, we need to keep active, as the conversation I had this week with my partner too.
Yes, exactly. Sudoku puzzles. I'd like to say again, like learning new sexual positions and advancing the frontiers of your intimacy. That's always going to be my pet project in terms of learning. Expanding one's brain, grey matter.
Go for it. Why not?
Why not?
Expand in whichever ways you choose.
Oh, Sarah, I think this is the second week in a row where you've just like double entendre. You just laid it down. Oh my God, that's awesome. Yes, grow in whatever. Nice.
Oh, you had to take it one step further.
Oh, I know. Oh no, you already went there, my friend. That's not me. Yeah, you're the OG. You're the OG dirty girl. If you're lonely, just welcome other people into the same pool. Yeah. Oh, I know. I'm going off the rails.
I'm not sure where to go with that.
I know. Well, relationship desk of love. I'm going to get over my anxiousness and go right to the meat. What's going on at the relationship desk?
Yes, let's indeed. Okay, so on the relationship desk of love today, I would like to share with you. So one of the questions we often get asked and people kind of struggle with is, how do I know that I'm with the right partner? How do I know that this person is my person and I've got the right combination? So I came across this post around kind of 7 signs that you can really look for and spot in your relationship to see if you're with the right person. Would you like to know what they are?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay. So the first one is is this someone that I feel safe with? The second, so can I be my most authentic self around this person? So can we be who we are when we're together? Yeah. Third one, I think you'll like this one. Do our values and goals for the future align?
Yes. Yep.
And coming in at number 4, is this someone that is committed to their healing journey?
Okay. I think it's a bit overdone these days, but okay. Yes.
I get you. I hear you. But I think for me, what I would take away from that is this person somebody who genuinely wants to kind of grow, is interested in kind of, more than just kind of the current position that you're in?
Definitely. I think it's being overused in that I've heard men say that women for casual sex hookups on Tinder will be like, are you working on yourself? Literally, as I'm like, come on, guys, come on. You're going to shag for a night, okay? Whether or not they're seeing a therapist, none of your concern. Let's stay in our lanes.
It depends how you take the phrase working on yourself.
Okay. Oh, Sarah, you're on fire today.
Anyway, back to the list. So number 5. Are they kind?
Yeah, that's a big one.
I think kindness is often overlooked in a relationship, or when we're looking at a kind of suitability of a partner, I think we're really kind of just, we don't really think about that. Is the person actually a kind person? Yeah, I think it is important. Number 6, is this someone I generally respect as a person?
Oh, yeah.
So we covered a lot on respect last week in the podcast. And finally, can I trust this person to be there for me? Yes.
Okay. Yes. I'm surveying the whole landscape of those of these qualities, and I'm like, yes. There is. It comes on.
There's a but coming up for Anna here. I can feel it.
No, I know there is, but I'm like, okay, what's the unifying thing? Okay, I got to share this. I think I've shared this with you. It comes from high authority. This 3 C's concept. There's this just fabulous woman with a lot of wisdom who has sort of relayed. What's that?
Was it me?
Oh,
you said there's a fabulous woman.
You are the fabulous woman with a lot of wisdom, but funny enough, it wasn't you. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
So this comes to me from somebody very important to me. The 3 C's are our relationship. Does it have the chops to sort of make it? Number 1, are we compatible? Number 2, is there chemistry? Number 3, is there healthy communication? Add a 4th thing to that is, are both of us committed, like in it to win it? And you
that
put
for
all
me,
these
I think, is
committed. Yeah.
You've got to have that. If you haven't got that, it's absolutely pointless.
Yeah.
Just hang up your hat.
Oh, damn. Yeah. So I think this list is good, and I would lump a lot of these under the compatibility. So shared goals, vision for the future, a shared sense of purpose, or at least compatible sense of purpose. Like a compatibility thing can be a lot of the really boring things, like the values and our life direction and what's important to us. I think respect, trust, safety, sort of in there too. The funny enough in this list, chemistry. So chemistry is something for sure. And whether that's sexual chemistry or, whatever that might be, an inclination to share moments together and whatever you like doing together or whatnot. The communication piece, it doesn't feel like that was as, it was, but we could put a strong underline under under anything in terms of like, are you both able to communicate? But that's also the safety and the respect, right? Safety, respect, and trust are required to have like the hardest conversations. Well,
if you haven't got psychological safety there, if I don't feel like I can open up, but also the part about, I can be myself. So can I be who I'm, or do I have to have some sort of mask on there, or kind of, not let myself go? Like all of that is part of that kind of communication as well.
Yeah, I think the thing is that we're not passively looking for the person who just brings all these traits to the table. Part of it is that je ne sais quoi of who that person is that seems to sort of be in lockstep with you. You don't know why. Maybe they came around at the right time in your life when you were ready and you'd done the work. And for some reason, the puzzle piece fits, right?
Yeah.
They are trustworthy because you decide to trust.
Yeah.
you feel you can be authentic around them because you've decided to get vulnerable. So a lot of it is like what you bring. It's not necessarily that you're passively waiting for somebody to bring these traits, which is very important.
Yeah. And I like that thought of actually, we were both kind of looking together because we're both in the right space at the right time, with the right approach to the relationship.
And it's so fluid. It's one of the, I know this is sort of off the beaten track a little bit, but it's coming up. A lot of people were sort of taught to be very resentful if our partner, after saying they never wanted kids, goes on to a new relationship and says, actually, I want kids, and they have kids, right? And the old partner is jilted, like, what? But again, we are rivers that are constantly moving and constantly changing. And sometimes it's not the right person that we've been waiting for our whole lives. It's just that they happen to walk into our life now. It's just, remember, we're all so dynamically shifting and changing. Yeah. Okay, this has got me fired up. I'm so excited. Evaluating, like, is this your person? Or is this one of the 100,000 people on the planet who could be your person? Yeah.
Well, if you think you're fired up by that, wait until we get to a hot topic, because I know you're going to feel fired up by this.
I'm tingly, Sarah. I'm tingly.
Okay. Today's hot topic: gaining power over a persistent sexual health issue.
Oh, yes.
Anna's favorite topics.
Oh my God. I have seen so much of this in clinic recently. Just recurrent vaginitis and urinary tract infections among ladies. Lots and lots of, case examples to go by. Yeah. And, you and I have both, we've struggled with every woman has sort of struggled with stuff that beyond their control. Their body just kind of does weird stuff on them or, behaves strangely. The central theme of this is this shame and this lack of control, this feeling of helplessness and not being able to just feel like your body has just, started to take you hostage. And it's a terrible, and it gets in the way of intimacy and sexual confidence in a big way.
And, it's not just females that struggle with sexual health issues. Males struggle with things as well. And
so true.
I think that kind of shame and embarrassment is the thing that's present with both genders, really, when we come to look at some of these situations. And I think the natural reaction is to kind of bury your head, think it'll go away, not deal with it, and just kind of you end up then, though, I think often with this kind of separation in the kind of intimacy, and almost you can feel kind of like terrified to even, when some of the health issues, maybe they've kind of, maybe things have settled down for a bit, but then there's this kind of underlying fear of not wanting to go there in case it kind of stirs things up again. Quite literally, but also then has a kind of consequence that then kind of, some of these health issues then start to reoccur again, because some of them can be quite painful, as well as kind of, in some instances we feel embarrassment, we don't kind of get any pain. In other instances, they can be quite painful and discomforting. So, it's understandable that we actually kind of then start to put a bit of barrier between, or a block between us and our partner at really kind of initiating or getting involved in any of those kind of, the more intimate side of a relationship.
Oh, it drives a massive wedge, because the thing that everybody retreats to their sort of side of the ring, and a massive wall comes down, there's no communication, and then there's a misinterpretation dance, which is horrible, right? So you're sitting in the shame of your health issue or concern or dysfunction or whatnot, and then you're seeing your partner silent treatment, acting weird, acting awkward, and you think that they're judging your health concern. They're not. They're actually, they have no idea what's going on for you, and they just see you as cold and shut down. Yeah. And then they're misinterpreting because they have their own bucket of shame that they can draw upon, But
then, they're probably feeling terrified. Like, what have I done wrong? I don't think I've done anything wrong, but I don't know what I've done wrong. We instantly look to kind of take blame, and, we either look to blame somebody else or we take the blame on. It's kind of, it's going to be one or the other reactions that we have. So, but I think, what I would say here is, really get on the front foot with this. Like, get some help. Try and move beyond that kind of shame and embarrassment. Get some professional help. See actually kind of what's possible, because a lot of the time, that there's things that can be done. We don't have to live with some of these, health issues. And if it was any other part of your body or any other kind of health related issue, you'd be kind of straight down the doctor, booking your appointment, going, come on, fix me, find something. But yet when it comes to kind of sexual issues, we often think, oh my God, I can't go there. I can't raise this, So instead, I've just got to kind of silently kind of suffer, and that's not the case. So I think it really is that first kind of step is, how can I take control of this situation? How do I no longer let it control me and let it govern the impact that it then kind of has in the relationship?
Oh, and it's just needless. It's needless for this stigma to affect your relationship. Yeah. From my physician hat, I'm gonna sit on the soapbox for a second, and then I'm gonna sort of talk about some common male issues. But my soapbox moment is it pisses me off that there has been an expansion of, I love pharmacists. I really respect their practice. There has been this independent ability to prescribe, both in a few provinces in Canada, where pharmacists can prescribe antibiotics for bladder infections. I've had multiple women come in who have taken their antibiotics for perceived bladder infections. Surprise, surprise, haven't got better. Symptoms come back. And it's a really missed opportunity, because as a physician, number one, is it even a bladder infection? Because often it can be vaginitis. The second thing is recurrent bladder infections with intercourse, right? Which just, it's a friction activity that sweeps blood, bacteria up into the bladder. I can help you with recurrent bladder infections that are related to intercourse. And so it really ticks me off that there are women who are being deprived of the ability to come and talk to me as a doctor, because I can help to break the cycle, or at least we can start to put detective work on. So if it's happening again and again, please reject the easy route of just going to the pharmacy, because again, that's a stigma thing, right? It's just so much easier to go to the pharmacy as opposed to book with your doctor or even a walk-in clinic. Come see us, come see me. We'll sort you out. And then the second thing about men's sexual health, it's such a, I've done a lot of Viagra prescriptions for men who just need to get back on the horse of confidence. Again, this is not medical advice, but I don't know. I don't think anybody's going to sue me. Maybe they will. I don't know. In which case, I'll learn how to do like tile frescoes or some other job. But anyways, so like with men, in terms of so a couple things that are quite common: erectile dysfunction, or not being able to maintain an erection when they want to, or even premature ejaculation can be really, really common issues that if they bury their head in the sand, it's a real missed opportunity, because there's some beautiful communication that can happen in partnership that help to support that. Maybe you need to take a break or sort of slow things down, or bring in some other sexual touch and just allow sort of that kind of the stress and anxiety to go away. Because again, remember, erections only work in low stress zones. People weren't running away from lions with erections, just saying. So again, reach out to your doctor, because sometimes there can be a prescription that can just help people get back on the horse, but that's the time to lean into communication and not lean out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, as well as the kind of, being vulnerable with your partner, talking about the issues that are going on, I think the other side of it is, where can you look to increase intimacy in other areas? So, we talked before, intimacy isn't always just kind of related to sexual intercourse. There are other forms of intimacy that we can create. How else do we get pleasure in the relationship that aren't necessarily connected to the areas that you're struggling with right now? So you can have some time and take some space to be able to deal with those separately, but yet still not neglect that part of the relationship and not create this kind of gulf that then makes it worse for both of you, because you're then going to start to feel guilty because you're not you don't feel like you've got the same connection that you had before, and your partner's going to feel upset because they feel rejected, and the dance goes on. So instead, let's look for other ways to form that intimate bond with our partner, whilst we can get the help that we need.
Yeah, you've got it. Bang on.
Yeah.
Bang on.
Pleasure comes in many forms.
Yes. Love it. Yes, that's so true.
All right. So, yes, take responsibility for your sexual health.
Yes, you've got it.
We love that message on this podcast.
Oh my gosh. Always evergreen. and bring in help.
Yes, definitely get help. God, yes. I mean, you'd go to the doctor for anything else. So, this is just a different part of your body and a different part of how you function as a human being.
Totally.
We were designed to have sex and procreate.
Oh, were we ever?
And I was like, yeah, I know.
Hello.
She's speaking my language.
And I was put on this planet to talk about it ad nauseum.
That is my role in life.
Oh my God. Yeah, totally.
And aren't we pleased that you're on this planet?
Oh, some people are bird watchers and I'm just a sex watcher. There you go.
That sounds wrong.
Oh, it is actually. But, those who know me know what I'm talking about. Get out the binoculars.
If this is your first podcast, go back to the beginning. You'll soon get the measure.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh. We're an acquired taste. You have to ease into us.
I am going to move us to a question.
Yes, please save us. Pull up.
Totally unruly. Okay, today's question. What do you do when your wife tells you that they don't love you anymore? I feel so sad. What have I done wrong?
Wow. Again, this is devastating, but this is, we're being brought into a snapshot situation here. This cannot be the first time that anybody has heard of any discontent. Wow, this is so heartbreaking. But it could be the first time they've heard the words, right? For somebody to actually come out and say the words, I don't love you anymore, is like a stab in the heart, right? And yes, there might have been some other signs, there might have been some other subtle or unsubtle ways that we could have spotted that actually the relationship was going downhill and, no longer had the love that it once had before. But to hear those words feels like that's the end. And it feels like a stab in the heart. And I can understand why this person is saying, what have I done wrong? Because if they felt like everything was rosy in the garden, I'm quite happy with the way things are. And I didn't understand until this point how unhappy my wife was. And I hear those words back, that is going to be that's going to feel like I'm falling off a cliff. And I haven't got a parachute and there's nobody there to save me. Oh, it's just so painful.
It is. It's devastating.
At the same time, though, this is an opportunity because I think this person has heard Mayday calls for years and they've never acted. And now they are ready to act or they're ready to listen.
Well, I mean, they've certainly listened, that's for sure. Whether they're ready to act or not, we don't know. But what I would also say is the person that's saying those words, my question would be, actually, how much is it really the end for them? Or is it that this is my last-ditched attempt to get your attention?
I fully believe in the latter because of all the people I've coached. I think this wife is saying, please listen to me. I still love you. I'm terrified to I have to walk away if you don't listen to me now. So I believe in the latter.
Yeah. So, if we go with that premise, because I believe that too. I believe that, we tell people things for a reason. Mm-hmm. We're just not very good at human beings as spotting the fact that we're being told something for a reason. It's because we're not fully present the majority of the time. So we're not very good at receiving that information, even often when it's spelled out in black and white. And this is the final big banner, they're taking a bit of a billboard out here saying, I don't love you anymore. And because they want to kind of really create that strong reaction in the other person because they want that attention. Yeah. So I do think that there is hope.
No, I mean, you're right. Because the thing is they actually do love you by saying, I don't. Yeah. Because somebody who doesn't love somebody would ghost, walk away, and you would see divorce papers sitting on your kitchen table. Yeah. Or you would, they would be like, I'm leaving and I'm packing up and moving in with somebody else. Like they would have already moved on. Like if they didn't love you anymore, they would be out the back door. Not out the front door, out the back door.
Yeah. But this is a bit of a head fuck to get to get around, isn't it? Because if somebody's telling me one thing, but actually they mean something else, like I'm stuck in the middle in confusion land going, well, actually, what is the situation? But I think the key thing here is what needs to happen next.
So this being a Mayday, like the strongest Mayday, it is drop everything. Because if you shit the bed on this, that relationship is over. You've got one more shot at this. Because what happens is that the person comes to us in victim mode. Like this, this person is questioning. They're in a victim mode right now. Oh, poor me, et cetera, et cetera. I'm so sad. Yeah. Dude, be sad, and we'll support that sadness. We're going to acknowledge and validate that. But then it's going to be like, now get on your running shoes, because we have one thing to do. And I find that the shift from victim mode to action is something that a lot of our clients are not actually prepared to do. You think that this person is ready for action. They're not, based on this question. And we need to sort of shine the light, because they can be looking at this relationship in the rearview mirror if they're not careful and they don't take this chance. So that's where, a lot of validation of the sadness, the shock, the shame, the terror of this. And so as we think about like shifting people into action mode, like how do you assess somebody as to whether they're meaningfully, like ready for meaningful action? How would you assess a client here?
Well, I think it's difficult, isn't it, to kind of, because each client is different in terms of what they bring and what they do. But I think my question here would be, there is that acknowledgement that, this is terrible, isn't it? I can understand why you're going to feel terribly sad about this. You're going to be really puzzled. Like, what have I done wrong? Like, I thought everything was going swimmingly. You're going to feel like the rug's being pulled out from underneath you. It's a bit like a kind of, a punch in the gut that is kind of like, oh my God, I had no idea that this was happening. So I sense that and I get that. But then my next question really is, so what are you going to do about it?
Or what are you prepared to do right now?
Because we can sit there and we can feel incredibly sorry. We can cry. We can, get upset. We can even get a bit angry because we feel hurt. We can have all of those things. But so what? Like, what do you want to do? How do you want to save this relationship?
Yeah.
Is this a relationship you want to save? I'm guessing that it is if you're saying you're devastated. So what action are you going to take?
There's that. There's also this, because I always want to sort of get in that question. The answers reveal a lot. Some people are saying, some people, if I really know they're in it to win it, they're like, I am going to coach every week with you. I realized my wife was unhappy. I didn't know this bad. And I know that she's been saying that she thinks I work too much. So I think what I'm going to do is decline this promotion and use this time and focus it on my relationship instead. If somebody says something like that, I'm like, oh, okay, this person is ready to work.
Yeah.
But if there's something like, oh, I'm really busy at work, I think everything will calm down after September. So I'm going to, I'll nose to the grindstone, but after September, I promise I'm going to work on my marriage. Game over, done. I might as well, don't waste money throwing it at me because you're not ready, right? Because there's something else in your life or other things that take higher priority. And it is what it is. It's just that it's not your marriage.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of separation of the wheat from the chaff that I like to see on a first client encounter. And that's the kind of tone difference. And if they're in it to win it, then we work. And then it gets very hard. Like, what are you willing to do? It's unpacking a lot of the things you've heard again and again. You just didn't take your partner seriously.
Yeah.
What are the biggest grievances that, I don't love you anymore, I'm unhappy? A lot of the time it's, I don't feel emotionally supported by you. I don't feel listened to you. I don't feel loved by you. Those.
Yeah. And I don't feel like you're meeting my needs. I feel like you don't understand me. I think that's another thing that comes up.
Yeah.
You don't even know what's going on inside. Now, some of that is because actually you haven't shared a lot of the stuff that's going on inside. We can internalize some of the kind of hurt and upset that happens in a relationship, and we put game face on and we carry on, and all of that does is just kind of keep things locked up to the point of no return.
Well, and also remember too, especially if you're in your 40s or 50s, a lot of a person's discontent is that they're blaming a lot of internal stuff on you. They're going through internal transitions of empty nest. Their identity is shifting. An individual's identity is shifting, and they're starting to blame it on their partner. So remember, like, if your wife is saying, I'm unhappy, you make me unhappy, you don't understand me, you don't listen to me, once you do the really deep digging, you'll find out that a lot of the stuff has nothing to do with you, but you have to dig, and you have to dig together.
Yeah. But I think often what I tend to see is that there's stuff that's going on both sides. And when you dig beneath that and you look at what is it you feel like you're missing, what is it you feel like you're missing, generally they're the same things, but they just see it in a different way.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So they're kind of, they're sharing, this is my perspective, this is what I think is happening. The other person says, well, no, this is what I think is happening. Mm-hmm. And when you kind of break it down to kind of what that means, it often means the same thing. So, you're not prioritizing me, you're not responding to me in the right way, you're not meeting my needs, I feel like you dismiss the things that I say. It's often the very same thing that's happening on both sides. Now, that to me is the magic, because then once you get to that part, you then have you've got something to build upon, because you say, actually, you want the same things and you've got the same problem.
Yeah.
You're just seeing it and saying it in a different way. That's beautiful.
Oh, you have so got it right. Because when I coach couples, because everybody believes that they have the harder lift to do and their partner has got off scot-free. Yeah. Yeah. And the most beautiful thing, and I've had clients who are like, well, I feel really resentful. I have to do all the work. And I'm like, actually, have you heard what your partner is willing to give up or to pitch in or to compromise on? I see you guys as both having unmet needs and both having to do a heavy lift here. And it's a phenomenal thing for two people to look at each other and go, oh yeah, we're on the same team.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're on the same
absolutely. Team. Yeah.
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 Being affected by the same weather system. A lot of transitions, children growing up, like job loss or parents getting older, like these things affect you. Yeah. It's the same environment, different reaction. Yeah. Similar solutions though.
And you often have similar fears as well, right? So those fears that you've got that you're reacting to are very often the same as your partner's, but you just express it in a slightly different way, or it means something in a slightly different way to you. But if you strip it back, it's exactly the same fear.
Yes. Guaranteed, have witnessed it again and again as we dig down. Yeah. Really, what are you willing to do about it is to do the digging yourself and with your partner. And it's not a matter of fixing. We're not going to fixing zone yet. We're going to digging. And if you're willing to dig, it's phenomenal what you learn. Yeah. And that's hot, by the way, total aphrodisiac to be able to learn something about your partner, because you've probably stopped learning about each other for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing sexier than seeing your partner in a new light. Works better than lingerie.
Or flannel PJs, if you listen back to some episodes. And bringing it back. Bring it back. I'm like, Sarah, well, go back to hear that episode, but don't go back. Yeah. I can't let go of that flannel PJs.
I've had a expert independent source weigh in on the flannel PJs, and it's an absolute no-go. Like we can't be doing it. Can't be doing it. Yeah, I have my independent sources, my panel that I go to, and that's a hell no for the flannel. But again, anybody who finds flannel PJs a hot turn on, please info@geordielass.com. Yes.
Also, whatever takes your fancy, right? If they do it for you, carry on.
I mean,
who are we to judge?
Yeah, flannel PJs with, I don't know, like rope play. I don't know. If it's part of a scene, go for it. I'm not going to yuck your yum is basically it, but I don't know.
Anyway, let's finish off this question before we finish off the podcast.
Like, what time is it? It's getting a little like evening dirty time. Okay, go on.
Before we get there. I think the other thing that I would just add really to kind of help to finish off with this question is fast forward 6 months, right? What is your worst case scenario? What do you absolutely kind of dread and not want to happen, and then work backwards from that to put some steps in place to completely avoid that.
I like it. Yeah.
Because we get so caught up in the hurt and the uncomfortableness of, shit, I'm in this situation, it feels devastating. And then we get stuck there, we get entrenched in it, we don't know what to do. So one of our questions is, well, what action are you going to take? And then maybe that kind of thought is, I don't know, because I'm stuck and I'm in this place. But if we use that kind of future vision of, my worst case scenario is that my partner leaves me, we end up divorced, you paint a whole picture, I'm having to kind of sell a house, I'm having to, maybe move back with my parents, who knows what is the most kind of devastating position for you. Mm-hmm. And then you explore kind of how that feels. And then we really lock into that vision of the thing that we don't want. And then that helps us to kind of move some of the place of being stuck to actually taking some action.
Yeah, you're right. I would go further to say that, like, the worst case scenario, if we look at it and we uncover it and say, well, is that the worst that could ever happen? Okay, well, would you die? No, you probably wouldn't die. It would be horrible. Okay. I could live with the worst case scenario. And that's empowering to be like, okay, there's nothing that could take me down. I can deal with anything. So let's now try to like that mastery mindset. So let's create something beautiful in our relationship, even if it is to finally understand each other at the tail end of this story. And so that we now know each other better and ourselves better for the next story.
Yeah. And I can see why you would say that. My question is, would kind of the average person go to that length? The majority of us don't. We, cut and run as quickly as possible if we're not very happy and want to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
We don't really want to spend time trying to get to know each other and end things on a positive note. And I'm not saying that's the right course of action. I'm just saying that's a kind of natural tendency.
I agree, but it's more getting to know ourselves. Because there's a number of clients now, more and more, who are coming to me and they're like, the call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
I need to be able to address this because I know I'm going to bring this pattern into my next relationship.
Absolutely, yeah. Agreed.
Oh, fiery. Gosh, Sarah. Wow. Okay. Good times. Thanks to the listeners.
Who knew that question would be so spicy today?
Oh my gosh. Well, we started off on a hot note, so
We did indeed.
Mm-hmm. So what are you going to be doing over the next week? But till you meet the next time.
What am I doing? Well, I'm really struggling with my neck right now. So do you ever have those times when you wake up and you just know that you've slept wrong? So I'm on kind of like day 2 or 3 of this. So I don't think I'm going to do a lot until this clears up.
Oh, yeah, totally. Oh, gosh.
So yeah, okay. I'm struggling through for our podcast and our listeners.
Yeah, totally. Nice massages and like a little warming heating bag on the neck.
Yes, I definitely need something.
Get off the screens.
Yes, indeed, indeed. So what about you, Miss? What are your plans for the week ahead?
To be honest, it is grinding it out, administrative work, taxes, a lot of paperwork because I've got a big life event.
I know how you love your taxes.
Oh my gosh, I know. It's crazy. I gotta do them so I can't keep thinking about them. I've just got to get it out of my head. So that's going to be very boring.
Sometimes you just got to be an adult.
You know what? Got to bite the bullet.
Yes. I'm sure you can do it. Fun. I've got every faith in you.
Oh, thank you. And then I can, go back to thinking about naughty things. But till then, bite the bullet, do my taxes, and then I can study more about sexual intimacy, which is where I like to be. It's the calling. Oh my gosh.
Well, fun times ahead.
Oh, it's the summer. It's hot girl summer. It's going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
So, till next time.
Till next time.
So that's it for another week of Geordie Lass Doc Sass. We hope you've enjoyed listening as much as we've enjoyed chatting. Get in touch and share your questions for relationship remedies and any hot topics you want us to cover. If you need help navigating all things relationships, Anna and Sarah are available for one-on-one coaching support. Email info@geordielass.com. Please remember to like, share, subscribe if you've enjoyed listening. And if you've not, how on earth have you made it this far? I promise we'll try harder next time.